Good morning, everybody. Happy Stoke City Day. Leeds United challenging the Potters to 3 points. For 3 points at Ellen Road. Make sure you are cracking a like on the video. We put a different video out yesterday on the Patreon. If you guys want to subscribe, links in the description below. So for score, I have a Leeds United versus Stoke City preview out now. Get all your latest momentum bars. Get all your latest player analysis and all that great stuff over on SofaScore. And that's where I'm sort of building my show today as well. We've got interesting transfer news as well in this video regarding Leeds United, which I did want to speak on, and it sort of moulds into our Premier League venture if we are to actually get there, believe it or not. But let's get into it. What are your thoughts on tonight's game? I'm going tonight. It'd be great to see some of you, but I am going with a 3-1 Leeds United win. Now, Stoke have changed a lot. That game where we played them, and in my opinion, they were right in the game. Gave us a really a tough game. One of the better games that we faced this season. Likes of Vidigal, Johnson, Campbell and Pearson, all involved in that game, and all have been told to go somewhere else. There's been a lot of turmoil when it comes to Stoke City, which has basically meant that there's been a lot of problems off field, which I didn't really realise, to be quite honest with you. Bit naive of me to not see that. But Chiquito and Mai have also been sort of part of severe problems for Stoke City. But they did win at the weekend, a really good win over Middlesbrough. So I think, it's interesting the amount of money that Stoke City have spent in this division, and they've just not got it right. I don't think they've got the managers right, but they are a big club at this level. Spent a fair bit of dough, and we'll wait and see what happens when it comes to their long-term projection. But for tonight, Leeds United should be winning this game. Their last win away from home was Rotherham, a 1-0 victory, scored to nil on the 13th of January. Since then, it's not been great. I think they've had 3 or 4 away games since then. I think they've lost all of them. So this is it's a must-win. There's a lot of competition for tonight. Obviously, Leicester are playing Sunderland. We know that Ipswich are going to be playing Bristol City tonight, I believe it is. And obviously, Southampton have got a home fixture as well against Preston. So, listen, there is no room for failure right now. Absolutely no room for failure. Leeds United simply have to win. Simply have to win. It is a game where I'm still seeing people online saying, I'm sick of hearing all this must-win stuff. It is a must-win. Of course it's a must-win. We know that because Ipswich win. We don't win. And that puts Ipswich 5 points ahead of us with, 10 games left? 9 weeks left of the season. Of course it's a must-win. We don't want to be... And this is what we're looking at right now with Leeds United. This is what we're looking at right now with Leeds United. Anybody. You've seen it with Leicester. Leicester have dropped 3 games and they're right back in it after being miles ahead. That's all it takes with this ridiculous 4. And I was listening to some Premier League channels last night, some Forest channels. I've been listening to, Sheffield United channels. They can't believe how good the Championship is. Luton, Burnley channels out there as well. They cannot believe how good the Championship is. The standard, the level. It's the best it's ever been. So you cannot drop. You cannot afford to drop anything. If you drop something, you're in big trouble in terms of that automatic race. And we've sort of seen that with Southampton, but thanks to us and thanks to Leicester, we've allowed them back in, which gives a little bit of validation to the fact, or to the notion, that even if you do drop points, you're still in it. However, I don't want to be dropping points at this stage of the season. You can talk to any sort of top journalist, even if it's a journalist in and around Leeds, will tell you the exact same thing. They can't be dropping points right now. This could be a really good evening for Leeds. A really good evening for Leeds. If Leicester up to Sunderland, not an easy game. Sunderland haven't been great recently, but Stadium of Light's never an easy task. Ipswich at home. Bristol City, it's not going to be an easy game. Bristol City have been decent this season. As we know, it was a tough game down there for us. Wasn't like a blowaway at Ellen Road either, so it'll be a tough game for them, that. Southampton, obviously with the home game at Preston. Preston have been very, very on and off this season. But overall, this could be a really good week because teams could drop points in around us, as we saw at the weekend, and it flips again. But what we cannot afford to do, if I'm coming back on here later on and we have drawn the game, I'll be devastated. I'd be absolutely devastated if we are to draw this game. It would not be good enough. Would not be good enough for a Leeds United side who are trying to get automatic promotion. It would not be good enough, and I'm not hearing any excuses because I think it's. I'll be honest with you guys. I think it's a bit loserish mentality. If you know, you're turning around and saying that that's okay. You know, it doesn't matter if we lose. I think we have to win this game. Marc Roca. Now, I wanted to get into this one this morning in particular because it's been on my radar. I've kept a few tabs on what's going on with Roca, just purely because I believe, I know there's going to be some funny comments, Connor going on about Roca again, but there's a little bit of news against him today, which is probably not a good thing for Leeds and not a good thing for maybe his career. Who knows, might get back in, but we'll have to wait and see. But it could be a good thing when it comes to Leeds' long-term projection in that midfield. Now, I've been a little bit here, there and everywhere when it's come to Leeds United's midfield. Sometimes I'm really satisfied with it, like Archie and Ampadu. Other times, like the other day, when I thought Gruev and Kamara were absolutely below average, I've really got a problem with it. And I wonder if a three in there, a three dynamic when it comes to the Premier League, you know, a real combative bunch, a bunch that balance each other out as well in the midfield, ones who boost each other's weaknesses, like you sort of see with the centre-backs when it comes to Joe Rodon and Pascal Strout, then boost each other's weaknesses and being good at what, you know, the other one isn't that great at. Balancing each other out. And I do wonder if we're in the Premier League and if there was more of a balance between a Roca, an Archie and an Ampadu. I think that as a midfield in a possession-based system, which Daniel Farke would be, we'd have to adapt going up. We'd have to adapt, and there'd be games where you can't play possession-based, which is maybe where, I know you guys don't think he's athletic or physical enough, some of you. You'd maybe take Roca out and then maybe put a Gruev in or another midfielder. But the beauty about this is if you brought a pairing in like that or a three in like that, you wouldn't have to go out and spend ridiculous money on a central midfielder. You know, you look at it in general and maybe we don't need to spend money on central midfield anyway if we're able to keep hold of our assets in terms of Archie Gray really in that midfield. So, Marc Roca, according to Mucho Deporte, hasn't been great in the last 3 games. This is on the 15th of January. He was being spoken about by apparently outlets in Madrid, outlets in Barcelona. Seville were interested in him. He was that good up until the midpoint of January. El Demarc has said that he was one of the most sought-after players in Spain as recently as the 15th of January. But over the past 3 or 4 games, he's not been good and he's been dropped. And what I will say as well is he didn't even start the last game. So apparently it's going to be difficult for Betis to stump up 17 million quid or 20 million euros. That's not going to happen for the Seville-based club in the summer. They don't have the finances to meet that. So we are probably now looking at a scenario where it was almost guaranteed that Roca was going to be going there with a little bit of a drop of form, a high price tag, apparently if that's what Leeds are looking for, which it looks like we are, because we want to make a profit on Marc Roca, obviously. But if we're not, Leeds retain an asset who I think if he has a balance in midfield, and he's shown this season even at Betis, he's been very, very good. I think it would be a really, really good addition back. And if we're to move into a midfield 3, which I personally think would make this Leeds side even better, because I think we lose a lot with that. I think, you know, you can sometimes, I feel you lose a lot not having a midfield 3 with the profiles that we've got. I think I'd really, really like to see that. And then maybe at some point you can have Rutter going back to his generic position, which is inverting off the right-hand side. And then if Nonso was to move on, you've got a Rutter-Somerville combo out wide, you know, and or striker, brand new striker. That's how I sort of see it in the future. I don't see Rutter as an out-and-out number 10, but you can see Archie in almost that number 8 role. That number 8 role, streaming forward, getting shots on goal. We all know that he's going to adapt in the Premier League. And then you've got a real combative, you know, Roca was put next to Weston McKennie for a lot of that season. You know, that just would never work. Weston McKennie has come out and said that he wasn't fit, he wasn't good enough. And I'm not just blaming Weston because Marc Roca wasn't good enough. But let's be honest, we did see a little bit of a tail off when Tyler Adams went out. And then Weston McKennie came in Roca's form. And then people started saying he's not athletic enough, he's not physical. We have to be part of a midfield combo who are able to complement each other out as well. And you look at Ampadu in comparison to Weston McKennie in terms of energy, endeavour, stamina, fitness, aptitude, all this sort of stuff in the Premier League, it's going to work, in my opinion. I think he's a top-tier player. So I think you put in Marc Roca with profiles who I think would balance him out really, really nicely. Be interested to see what your guys' thoughts are on that. A midfield 3 with Leeds United. But anyway, I'm going to go with a 3-1 win tonight against Stoke City. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. I'll be there tonight, might see you, but we'll be there also with your instant match reaction, a few bits on Patreon as well, everyone. Make sure you check that out. Make sure you check out SofaScore for a full preview of the game. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in a bit.